Have you ever seen this happen? A brilliant AI pilot works perfectly in one department, but the second you try to roll it out company-wide, it just descends into total chaos. It's a huge problem. So how do you actually scale AI and Agile together without the wheels falling off? Well, let's get into it.
And, this isn't just some theory. This quote comes from a real Fortune 500 company that totally hit a wall. Every time they had a successful experiment, it somehow accidentally created an even bigger problem down the line. So what does that chaos actually look and feel like on the ground?
So here's the paradox we're talking about. How on earth can a successful innovation actually lead to total disarray? It happens when you get a ton of small wins that aren't connected to any kind of bigger picture.
I bet these symptoms sound pretty familiar. You've got different teams using completely different, competing AI tools. The product teams are moving at light speed, while the privacy and legal teams are just drowning, trying to keep up. And the worst part? Those amazing pilot results, they just seem to evaporate when you try to go big. Now, this isn't a failure of the technology. It's a failure of orchestration.
So what's the answer? Well, it's not about buying more software or adopting yet another new methodology. The real solution is creating a central nerve center that's specifically built to manage all this new complexity. And that's what we call an Agile plus AI Transformation Office.
Yeah, think of it like an air traffic controller, but for your company's most important initiatives. It's not just another project manager. The formal definition is a purpose-driven hub that leads, governs, and, most importantly, accelerates how AI and Agile actually work together.
And just look at the difference here. On the right, you've got the old way of doing things, your classic project management office, built for predictable linear projects. Super rigid. But on the left, you've got this new transformation office, which is built for the messy, complex reality of AI. It weaves together the tech, the ethics, and the process, and it's designed to break down silos, not build them up. To put it simply, the old models just weren't built for this. They can't keep up.
Okay, so what does this nerve center actually do all day? Its work really breaks down into 4 core functions that all have to work together to turn that chaos into, well, harmony.
First up, it's the strategic orchestrator. This is all about having that crucial bird's eye view of everything that's happening. This is what stops 5 different teams from building the exact same thing. It makes sure AI work is actually tied to real business goals. And this is the magic part. It finds what's working in one corner of the company and figures out how to scale that success everywhere else. Next, it's a capability builder. Why? Because you can't just drop a bunch of fancy AI tools on your teams and expect miracles to happen. This office is actually responsible for teaching everyone how to use this stuff. It figures out what AI literacy really means for a product manager versus an engineer, it builds the training, and it creates communities where people can actually share what they're learning. And then it's the governance guardian. And honestly, this function is absolutely critical. It sets the rules of the road for responsible AI. It keeps an eye on all the regulations, it assesses risk before something gets deployed, and it makes a plan for what to do when, not if, things go wrong. This function builds the guardrails that give your teams the freedom to innovate safely. And finally, it's an innovation catalyst. This is all about clearing the path and providing the right infrastructure. It helps teams pick the best AI tools for the job, make sure those new tools actually talk to the systems they already use, like Jira or GitHub, and it unlocks access to the high-quality, secure data that every single AI model needs to survive. But, a cool structure is just a drawing on a slide deck without the right people. This can't be some faceless department. So who are the actual experts that make this whole thing work? So your core team needs a few key players. You've got to have a lead who's the executive champion for the whole vision. You need a responsible AI officer who's your ethics guru, a technical enablement manager who's basically the translator between the super technical folks and everyone else, a change specialist to drive adoption, and of course, a data architect to manage that all-important infrastructure. And listen, here's the most important point of all. This is not a top-down command center. It just isn't. The best model we've seen is what's called an embedded partnership. This is where experts from the central office are literally embedded within the business units. They're there to help, to advise, to be partners, not to be gatekeepers or controllers. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually go about building one? This isn't some big bang project you do overnight. Let's walk through a proven 4-phase roadmap to actually get it done. It all starts with the foundation in the first 3 months or so. That's just getting your core team together and setting up some basic rules. Then you move into pilot and learn, where you work with just a few friendly, high-potential teams to test things out and create your first playbooks. After that, it's time to scale and optimize, expanding your support across the whole company. And finally, after about a year and a half, you institutionalize it all, turning this temporary project into a permanent, sustained part of how your company works.
But let's be real, the big question is, does this approach actually work? Well, let's look at the numbers from a manufacturing company that implemented this exact model. And wow, the results are pretty staggering. Just by having that central strategic view, they cut down on wasted, duplicated work by 40%. That's the power of orchestration right there. With the right tools, the right training, and the right support, their teams saw a 35% jump in their sprint velocity. That is a direct hit on performance.
Get this, they hit a 95% compliance rate with their responsible AI guidelines. This just proves you can move fast without breaking things or creating ethical messes.
And here it is, the bottom line. This isn't just about making processes smoother. In only 18 months, they generated $12 million in real quantified business value. So what was the big secret? It wasn't some new piece of tech. It was a total mindset shift. They succeeded because everyone saw the office as a service organization designed to help teams win, not as a governing body there to control them. It was all about enablement, not enforcement. And that really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. As your organization adopts AI, take a really hard look at your own approach. Are you building a rigid bureaucratic control tower that's just going to slow everyone down? Or are you building a powerful enablement engine designed to help your people succeed? Because ultimately, that choice is going to define your future.